Namaskar and welcome you all the students. On the behalf of School of Media and Communication Studies, I'm welcoming you all in this virtual process of learning. And today we are going to discuss on different types of communication. So firstly, we should know about the objective of the course. The course is designed and introduced to provide a glimpse of understanding communication from broader perspectives, how it is related to media and society. Thus, this subject will provide concepts, theory, and practical aspects of communication. With the help of different elements, you will be able to modify your communication skill. You'll be able to make a particular communication strategy, and you'll become a good media person who can incorporate various elements of communication in his or her communication strategy. So students, before we move further, we should understand the basic objective of communication, because objective of communication that you want to share your idea, experience, emotion, information with others. You are going to communicate for various purposes. You are going to communicate for the purpose of information. You're going to communicate for the purpose of education. You're going to communicate for the purpose of entertainment. And sometimes you're going for communication for the purpose of counseling, or if you are having any problem or trouble. At the same time, you are also going to communicate something. So you are going for communication for various kinds of purposes. And that's why you'll find that as far as communication is concerned, if you are familiar with different barriers, then definitely you will be able to just avoid these barriers, and you can make your communication more effective in manner. And that is why you should also know about different types of communication, because generally what happens that whenever we are going to communicate anything, we are going to incorporate various kinds of communication elements in our own communication. Okay, you might be just thinking what I'm doing right now. Actually, this is a kind of meditation. So meditation is a kind of mechanism in which you are just trying to explore yourself. So it is a part of intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication is a kind of communication that you're going to do for yourself. So it's a kind of communication within oneself. Whenever you are going to visualize, when you are going to make a particular strategy, when you are tensed one, then you are going to talk to yourself. So in intrapersonal communication, there is one person, and that particular person is going to introspect himself or herself. And it helps us a lot to make a better strategy. Many times it happens that after the process of interpersonal communication, we feel that we are relaxed one, we are more energetic in manner. So intrapersonal communication is also one of the communication which is very important for us. Interpersonal communication is another kind of communication. Interpersonal communication takes place between two persons. It is also called as a direct or one-to-one communication or face-to-face communication. This is a communication which is very effective in manner, because you are going to get some instant feedback. You are going to get some live responses from the respondent, and that is why you'll find that there are different marketing companies which are basically concentrating more on interpersonal communication, because in interpersonal communication we are having the capability to influence the person to behave in a certain manner. That's why you might be knowing about different person who used to counsel you for your career. You are going towards a particular counselor for the purpose of making any particular strategy. You are going to take guidance from your parents. So basically each and every time you are just having a kind of interpersonal communication, and for various reasons interpersonal communication are basically one of the most effective way of communication, because you are directly talking with a particular person, you're directly getting response from the person, or feedback from the person, and on the basis of it you can improve many things. You can avoid conflict, you can make a strategy, you can take guidance, and that's why interpersonal communication is a very effective communication which takes place between two persons. One is sender, another one is receiver, or vice versa. Another kind of communication is a group communication. So group communication takes place among more than two persons. So basically you'll find that there are various kinds of parameters. There are various kinds of elements. On the basis of it we can create a group, like a group of students, a group of teachers, a group of street hawkers, a group of farmers, or a group of musicians, a group of journalists. So in the same manner, you'll find that group communication is also one of the kind of communication. Basically, you might have attended various kinds of meetings. You might have attended your classes also. So basically, it's a kind of group communication that is taking place. So group communication is also one of the important communication. Further, we can divide group communication in different parts, like when different members of a particular group is communicating to each other. So it could be a kind of intra-group communication. When one particular group is going to communicate to any other group, like the group of students are just talking to group of teachers. So it could be a kind of inter-group communication. So basically, for making small strategies, for conducting different kinds of meetings, for just identifying different kinds of concern, we are going for group communication, and on the basis of it we are able to make a particular kind of strategy. So next type of communication is a mass communication. Basically, mass communication was defined by Herbert Blumer, that it's a kind of term that we are going to use for a special type of social formation in the modern society. Mass communication is actually a process that targets technologically amplified masses to massive audience. Mass communication is a communication in which thousands, millions, or billions of people are involved. So basically you'll find that in mass communication we are going to deal with highly heterogeneous kind of people who are sitting at different places. Their liking, disliking, each and everything might be different. And in this particular manner we are going to cover larger area. We are going to communicate to the same masses, to the different section of the society at a one particular moment. So in this particular manner we are going to save time. We are going to reduce the cost also, because individually if you are going to provide a message to different person, it will cost more. But the problem with mass communication is that we are not going to get instant feedback. But we should know that mass communication is very effective, because at the same time you can provide important information to the largest section of the society. But one thing you should know, that without taking the help of any technology, you will not be able to communicate to the largest section of the society. That is why mass communication is also being called as technology assisted communication. And you'll find that there are different types of media. Basically, these media are supporting, they are providing us a platform to do mass communication, like radio, television, newspapers, magazines, and apart from it, nowadays we are having online platform. And these platforms are becoming a tool of mass communication, and that is why we call them as a mass media. So another kind of communication in this regard is written communication. Written communication we used to say, because in this particular kind of communication we are going to communicate to the person with the help of writing. There are some written content, there are some written text through which we are going to communicate. Actually, books, newspapers, magazines are different examples of written communication. Technology has changed a lot as far as written communication is concerned. Earlier, we used to write different kinds of letters. We used to write different kinds of documents. We used to write uh, about different kinds of things like stories. But nowadays, we are also using computers. We are using mobile phones. We are just sending WhatsApp messages. We are sending SMS. These are also the example of written communication. So written communication is a kind of communication which helps us in visualizing the things. It helps us in which we are not only becoming passive adopters, but we become active adopter of the masses. We are using our brain, we going to visualize the things, and according to ease, we are going to read the masses, or according to our ease, we are going to be a part of the written communication. Oral communication is another kind of communication. Right now, I'm just doing the job of oral communication also, in which you are going to listen something orally, like you might have attended different programs in which celebrities are going to speak something, or they are going to perform something. So oral communication is also one of the communication which is going to help us a lot, because many times uh, when anything is not clear from the written communication, that oral communication helps us to understand the things properly. And the person who is having good communication skill or oral communication skill, that particular person can really do a lot as far as oral communication is concerned. Another criteria of communication is the verbal criteria or verbal communication. Verbal communication is a kind of communication in which we are going to utter different kinds of words, and through this we are going to communicate something. Sometimes it happens that we are also going to take pause, or pronunciation is also very important kind of thing as far as verbal communication is concerned. So basically, you'll find the way we are going to make pronunciation, the way we are going to utter different kinds of word. These things are very important as far as verbal communication is concerned. Okay, so you'll be surprised to just watch this particular video that what I was doing. Actually, I was using a kind of symbol through which I just wanted to communicate that please stop or please don't talk. So it's a part of nonverbal communication about which right now I'm talking to you. So non-verbal communication is also one of the most effective communication. Generally, what happens that whenever we are going to communicate anything, there is a combination of verbal and non-verbal communication. We are able to communicate a lot through our body posture. We are able to communicate a lot through our facial expression. We are also able to communicate with the help of our body movement. Eye contact is also one of the important things through which we are able to communicate. We are able to communicate that we are genuine one, we are confident one. Through our facial expression, the people are able to know that we are tensed one, we are very happy, or sometimes it happens that if we are just telling any lie, then the particular person is able to know that that the person is a liar. Apart from it, you find that different kind of child, or they used to learn about different kinds of thing through spatial relations. It's a kind of they are able to know about different kinds of sign. They are able to know about different kinds of symbols. They are able to identify about different letters. They are able to identify about different shapes. So how they are able to develop these kinds of things? Because of non-verbal communication. So you'll find that non-verbal communication is also one of the most effective communication that we have. Through different kinds of colors also we can communicate a lot. Uh, while we are going to use a particular kind of color like white, we are going to use a particular color like black. Each and every color used to signify something. So non-verbal communication is also becoming one of the most effective tool of communication, because of this particular kind of thing, we are able to get the masses in a proper manner. Sometimes it happens that if anything is missing in non-verbal communication, that particular thing is being conveyed by verbal communication. Sometimes it happens that if anything is missing from verbal communication, then non-verbal communication just tells us, signifies us the things. So basically, whenever we are going to communicate anything, we should have proper body posture, body movement. We must have proper eye contact when we want to communicate properly. And at the same time, we should also be familiar with different kinds of sign and symbols that we are using as a non-verbal element of the communication. Right now, you are just watching this image. Uh, the After watching this particular image, you are able to know that it is showing that the child is relaxing, or the child is very happy. So you are getting different kinds of meaning. So how we are going to get these kinds of meaning? Because each and every person's exposure is different one. So in non-verbal communication, we are able to perceive the masses on the basis of our own past experience also, because we used to think that particular thing in that particular manner. So dear students, today I communicated you about different types of communication, and I told you that these kinds of communication, or these types of communication, are playing a very important or vital role in our day-to-day life. Every day we are exposed with a lot of communication strategies. We are exposed with verbal communication, we are exposed with non-verbal communication, we are exposed with written communication, we are exposed with intrapersonal communication, we are exposed with interpersonal communication, and we are exposed with group communication. So you'll find that these communication are having a very important role in our day-to-day life. But you should know why we are just going to select a specific kind of communication strategy, or why we are going to rely on a particular kind of communication strategy. Many things depends on our own strength. Whenever you are going to select any kind of communication strategy, basically it depends on your own potentiality also. If you are capable of speaking in a very good manner, then you can just go for oral communication, because through oral communication you can impress other, you can communicate in such a manner which can create a long indelible imprint on others. So it also depends on your own potentiality. If you are familiar with different kinds of sign and symbols, you are different with different kinds of you are familiar with different kinds of cultural groups. If you are more exposed with modern technology, then for yourself, more you know more and more elements of non-verbal communication could be very helpful for you. Apart from it, if you feel you are having a zeal, you are having a passion to write something, if you are having originality in your own writing, if you are having a vision, if you are having a dream, and you know how to write in a simple word, how to use different kinds of catchy sentences, how to use different kinds of words which can do a miracle for you, then written communication could be a very effective kind of communication for you. So being the student of media, you all are exposed with various kinds of communication. If you are going to a particular kind of field, you'll find that at that particular moment you have to do oral communication. At the same time, you are also going to do a lot as non-verbal communication. If you are just showing yourself as a confident person, you're not shivering, your body posture is proper one, your facial expression is also proper. Suppose you are going to conduct an interview, and you are going to conduct an interview with a patient or any particular person who are having some problem, and your facial expression is not proper at the time, because it is showing that you are kind of egoistic person, you are a dominating person, you are not able to emotionally connect with the person, then ultimately what will happen? That particular person will not be giving you proper kind of response. So many things depends on the selection or the choice of ourselves. We should understand, we should evaluate ourselves in which particular stream we are good in. Apart from it, intrapersonal communication also helps us a lot, because after intrapersonal communication we are able to decide about our own potentiality, we are able to evaluate ourselves, we are getting some energy from it. So intrapersonal communication is also one of the communication which is helping a lot. One more thing is related with interpersonal communication. As far as interpersonal communication is concerned, interpersonal communication is also very helpful when you want to avoid any kind of conflict, when you want to solve any problem, when you want to be motivated, or when you want to get others motivated. For that purpose, you'll find interpersonal communication is very good, because you are having direct eye-to-eye contact or face-to-face contact with a person. You are also getting feedback or response from the receiver of the masses. One more thing, mass communication is good for you when you want that this particular masses, this particular information should be reached to the largest section of the society without wasting too much time. So within 1 second, within within a short span of time, you can disseminate the message to the largest section of the society with the help of mass communication. Today we are exposed with a lot of information. What is happening in different parts of the world, we are able to know about all these things in a given short span of time. It is possible because of mass communication, but there are certain issues with mass communication, that in mass communication we are not going to get some instant feedback, and sometimes the content, the information is not good for one particular group or one particular person of the society, because in mass communication we are unable to uh, just categorize the masses. We are unable to just avoid a particular kind of masses, because we can decide that this particular masses would be reached to the person who is of 50 years old or 60 years old, but this particular masses is also being disseminated to the person who are below 16 or 15 or like this, because it's a very difficult task for us to just make it in a separate manner. But if we are able to understand each and every kind of communication strategy properly, then with the help of these kinds of communication strategy, we can fulfill our objective, we can make our career in a right direction, and we can become a good professional also. So dear students, if you want more information, if you want more knowledge, then the content is for you. You can refer these websites and books for further information. So thank you all for watching this video, and I will be pleased if you are just giving me feedback about my own communication or my own content. If you want some clarification, if you want some more content, then you can write me on my email ID. We'll meet again. Till then, namaskar.